All right. So tonight we'll be looking at D2L content. For those of you unfamiliar, D2L content is essentially the guts of your course. This is where you can upload everything from PowerPoints to URLs to articles. You can embed YouTube videos, everything and anything. In a face-to-face class, content is utilized heavily with our faculty to upload PowerPoints for the class that students may miss or as review so they can get them afterwards. I've seen some people put PowerPoints, notes, sometimes throw the syllabus in there. For a virtual class, obviously content is huge because that's literally where everything is in the course. So for virtual class, it gets pretty intense. They put in like checklist and all sorts of different stuff. We'll kind of look at kind of a little bit of everything today. We'll look at how to do the basic default, just upload a PowerPoint, upload a Word file. We'll look at how to embed a YouTube video. We'll try to touch on a couple different bases. There are some things I might gloss over a little bit faster. If I do, and if that's something you specifically have questions about, please stop me, raise a hand, type in chat, throw on voice chat, whatever works for you. And then same thing with any other question. Just raise a hand. It's like along the top, or type in chat. I can see chat the whole time. Or just yell. I'm open to any of those options. Just not too loudly, please. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So if you access a course, which you go through My Hack, you click the Brightspace button in the upper right-hand corner. And if you're wondering about the whole Brightspace D2L thing, like if you're new to Hack or something like that, D2L, Desire to Learn, is the company. Originally, their only product was Desire to Learn Learning Management System, which is these classes. But over time, they've expanded as a company. So they've created different names for each of their products. So technically, this product is now called Brightspace, but we've been with them for about 6 years. So to majority of the faculty and staff, this is still D2L. Slowly, we're going to try to transition into Brightspace. Slowly. Trying to avoid pitchforks and torches at our door from faculty. So for now, D2L, Brightspace, same thing. Right, so once you're inside your class, any of your classes are all going to look like this roughly when you first log in. This is the home page, which is just totally separate training. We don't have to worry about it. This content browser here is going to be the first place students will see content, and we'll look through a student view later in the training. Content browser is, as we start to add content, this will start to populate here. Content browser is like a shortcut thing. Oh, geez, well, I'm sorry. Thank you, Andrew, for pointing that out. It's because I'm not sharing anything. Good call. Share. Currently sharing. Why is it not doing? That's not what I want to share. Try that again. Share screen. Share. There we go. All right, much better. Yeah, sorry about that. I forget the click button sometimes. All right, so now hopefully we can see everything. We're good. much better this way. All right, good, awesome. Thanks again. All right, so the content browser that we see over here in this area, that is kind of like a quick shortcut way when the students go in. As we start to populate content, this will start to fill up. Content browser is kind of a love-hate relationship I have with it. It is nice because it does give the students like a quick shortcut to click on files, which we'll see what it looks like. It's like folders and stuff, but it's not the actual content area. So sometimes they can miss things, for lack of a better way to put it, because they can get really far into a folder, and it narrows into a folder, and it doesn't show them everything else, and they can kind of lose track. So it's a love-hate relationship. Some students use it, some students don't. It really is like a 49-51 split when we send out the surveys every year. So it's across the board. We'll populate some content. We'll go back and look at it, and then it's up to you kind of if you want to keep it there, or you can minimize it by clicking that arrow if you wanted. All right. So content is located inside of content because we love redundancy here at Hack. Someday we'll change that name, and I will be a much happier man. So if we go ahead and click on content and then go to content, this is what it's going to look like right out of the gate. So the way content is set up is essentially like a books of a chapter. There we go. Like there's the different chapters in a book. Chapters of a book. Wrong way. So right out of the gate, it's just this empty space because we haven't made anything yet. Up here at the top, we have an overview. If I had a file, like a test file or a syllabus, I could drag that literally just from my desktop. I don't think I have anything really on my desktop because I forgot to make something. Let me make a Word document real quick and to show you what this looks like. Save. So if I grab a Word document and drag it, you'll see the thing goes green. I can let go of it. Automatically adds the file, and this overview becomes, once it loads, becomes the Word document. Some people use this, some don't. Usually I tell them if they do use it, just throw your syllabus in there, because the more places you show your syllabus, the better. Can't really go wrong with that one. All right. Bookmarks, yourself and the students have the ability to bookmark different areas of the content, so whether it be different notes or different quizzes, it's different things in the content. They can bookmark them, and then bookmarks, if they click on that, it brings up everything they bookmarked. So that can be a useful area. Course schedule is literally the schedule for the course. So if you're teaching an online class and you have a lot of stuff in the course, built into the calendar, student can click course schedule and it shows them today's events, tomorrow's, and the next 7 days. Full schedule will show them the entire thing. So this is an older class I made, so there's all sorts of stuff. All right. And then table of contents. This is where the magic happens. Yeah. All right. Table of contents is where we start to create the outline for the data we're going to put in and all the different files. And like I said, by default, it's completely empty. We have the ability to import a course. So the cool thing is once you get the content all set up in one of your courses, if you teach that course 2 other sections that semester, if you teach it a following semester, if it's like 3 years later, provided we're with D2L still, I think our contract's for 3 years, you can come into here and you can actually copy over your content and anything else in your D2L course from one course to the other. So if I get everything set up in here awesomely, got all my PowerPoints where I want them, I got all my videos, so on and so forth, I can go into another blank shell, and by clicking import course, I can actually go right to that other course and pull over that data. So the shells are a lot in the forefront to set up, getting everything where you want it to look the way you want it to and all the data in there. But once you get it up, it's nice semester to semester just to copy over and then tweak things here and there. So that's what that little guy there does. Bulk edit we'll come back to once we actually have some stuff, because if you can't, nothing there, you can't bulk edit nothing. And then related tools, course builder is the old thing that we use to build courses. It's still here. It's essentially like an exoskeleton view, or it's not as friendly. This is really nice, and what you see is what you get style. So when we build it, you're going to see what it looks like, and then it'll show you the students, and almost be identical. Manage files. And if I lose you on this comparison or analogy, just yell out, because I sometimes do. The way content works is a lot like Amazon. So this content area here that we're looking at is like the Amazon.com website. You go, you find the things you want to see, and you click on them, and they're all pretty and get descriptions and whatnot. The actual files we've created, though, are like the Amazon warehouse, and they get stored in managed files. So they're separate. So technically, content just links to those files. And the reason why I bring this up is that when you copy over a course, you have to select both content and managed files. If you select just content, you get all the placeholders, but then there's no warehouse to support it. There's no files behind it. If you didn't get that, I apologize. I've used that analogy before, and some people are like, yeah, that makes so much sense. And some people have been like, what's Amazon? And I'm like, rainforest. And it's been a totally lost cause and fallen on deaf ears. No typing, so I'll take that as it went well. View reports literally lets us break down data for stuff that we have inside of here. We can see the number of users, average time spent, which is actually probably one of the coolest things in content. All right. Any questions so far, just on any of this stuff? Just like the basic, what you're looking at? Amazon, got it, good. Done yet? Awesome. Andrew's very enthusiastic. Oh. I'm breaking up. Let me check my microphone. Devices. Is it any better, or is it still breaking up? Unfortunately, this is the only microphone I have, so if it breaks up, we're kind of down a creek without a paddle. Are you fine? Awesome. So I have one fine, one breaking up. I'm good. All right, so 2 out of 3. That's not good. Oh, and hello, Christina. It's not bad of me. All right, so 3 out of 4. All right, so hopefully it gets better for you, Sandra. If it doesn't, I apologize. But it might be your connection, which I apologize again for. All right. If it gets really bad, let me know. I'm recording this, and I can always give you the video afterwards, which is good. All right. So back to this. Once we have this all set up and done, the first thing we have to do is we have to create the chapters of our book. We have to create the outline. So the way we do that is we click on this Add a Module. Each area within your course is a module. Now, how you want to set up your modules is entirely up to you. Here at Hack, we like to give you guys the freedom to do as you see fit. So if you want to do week 1 and then just do your modules as weeks, or if you want to do by chapter, or if you want to do by, maybe concepts, however you want to do it. Maybe you just want to make one that's called PowerPoints. And that's it. How you do that is entirely up to you, depending on what kind of class you're teaching. Usually kind of influences that. Like a face-to-face that's literally just putting PowerPoints up. Usually they'll just make like PowerPoints, throw them all in. So that's entirely your call. So you just click, type, enter, boom, done. That's simple. All right. Within each week, or within each chapter, within each module, we can break it down further with a submodule, which will appear here. So if we click on the module itself and then we click submodule, I can break it down. So one format that we use, instructional designers with the evolution stuff, is we do read, watch, and do as our submodules. As you can see, when I do the submodules, automatically adds them underneath each module. And then clicking on each one is going to let me focus on that specific submodule. All right. Any questions with adding, subtracting, or adding modules, submodules? It's pretty straightforward stuff. Click, type, enter. All right, cool. So once we set up our course, and usually I say you want to do this first. Like you would go through and set up each of your weeks, however you're going to do it. That's like the first thing you want to do. Just so you get your structure the way you want it, because it's easier to play with your structure when it's empty than when you start to fill things into it. All right. Inside of our main module, so if I click on week 1, right at the top here, I can click the title if I want to rename it. Click the arrow at the end, and I can edit the title again that way. Completion we'll look at here in a minute. I can move it down. I can move it to. So I can move all this stuff. And we're going to look at how to do that, and it's really super easy. And I can delete it, which is actually probably the key one. All right. Dates and restrictions. If I click on that, it's going to open up this area. So just boop, and there it is. I can set up start dates, due dates, and end dates. A start date is the first date that a student can access the data inside of it. Now, where this gets kind of weird and tricky is, let's say I have a quiz inside of here. There's actually 2 ways to get to quizzes in D2L. If I have a quiz inside of here that I'm like, all right, I don't want the students to start that quiz until week 3. So I set the start date for this module to week 3. Awesome. All the student has to do, if I do not have the date on the quiz set to week 3, is just go to assessments and quizzes, and they can totally bypass that. So pretty much what I'm saying is if you do have weeks set to this stuff, make sure the items underneath it, if they have a restriction date, match it. Because if not, the students can just click somewhere else and voila, kind of beats that point. So they'll be able to see that this stuff's there, but they just can't access it unless they go around the back door. I was hoping they would fix that sometime in the last 3 years. High hopes. End date is the date in which they can no longer access that item. Now, if it's like notes and something like that, obviously you're probably not going to be using an end date. That would make no sense to block the students from notes. But start date would make sense if you don't. I'm getting like a PowerPoint until after the class is taking place. So less incentive to skip class. Due dates are just that. It's a due date. Usually in content area, you're not going to put the due date. Usually you put that inside the item itself. But if you are, sometimes your due date is the same as your end date, in which case just use an end date, I guess. Due date is just, it shows up on their calendar saying, hey, this thing's due on this day. It doesn't stop them from seeing the material after that. End date's the only hard end. All right. Release conditions we can talk about if you email me. Essentially, we can set it up so student can't do, student can't do this until they do this, this, and this. So you could set it up so students can't view week 3 content until they finish the week 2 quiz or something like that. Again, if you want to go into that, email me. We can set up a one-on-one meeting. We'll look into it. there's all sorts of fun stuff we can do there. All right, so once we're all done with that, I can go ahead and click update. It would update it. Description, we can add description to any part of anything. D2L is very giving in the amount of places you can give data to students. So here I'm just going to type in description for week 1, just so we have an idea. This is the handy dandy D2L area, as I like to call it. So technically inside of here, we could put links to other items. We could put links to things within D2L. We can embed YouTube video. We could do images. Everything and anything could possibly go in here. You can edit HTML if that suits your fancy with HTML. So there's all sorts of stuff, but it's just the description. It's not even an actual content item. All right, update. There we go. All right. Any questions with that whole area up there? And if not, we'll get into the actual items and creating those. All right, cool beans. So down here underneath, the way this works, again, is it's kind of a hierarchy. So if I wanted to add something into week 1 that would appear above the submodules, I would click new here, and there's all sorts of options. But since I added these submodules, I want to put everything into the submodule, so that way it's nice and organized. So for read here, I'll enter a new reading item. So if I have existing items, so let's say I've gone through, I have all my quizzes in place, I got my drop boxes in place, I got discussion boards and all that stuff, and everything's going wonderfully, and now I'm just organizing it. I can click add existing activities, and I can actually link back to any of those items. So if I have a discussion in place, which is a horrible version of read, I guess, that'd be more like a do. Checklist. Let's say I have a checklist I created for the class. I want the students to read the checklist first, so they know what they're getting into. Go ahead and click checklist A, bam. Checklist A is now there in the content, so the student can access it both in the checklist area and in content. It's right there for them to see. Again, I can go ahead and edit the properties in place. I can give feedback on it, which I don't know why you would do that. Or you can delete the topic if you wanted to as well. All right. If I want to make something new, there's all sorts of stuff I can do here. So if we're doing a read, let's say I want to link to an external source, like an external website. So I'm going to go ahead and click create a link. I'm going to type in BBC News. I think the website for that is literally /news. All right, if I had another URL, I could put it here, whatever I want to do with it. We have the ability to have things open as an external resource or an internal. Internal means it's going to keep them right inside D2L. External means it literally opens up another browser tab for them. I usually try to keep things internal with the D2L stuff, just because that way they never leave the course. If you start to open up multiple tabs on them, it can really throw them off. Students can get lost and they have no idea where to go. So I usually try to leave that unchecked. Go ahead and click create. It's a valid URL. Probably wants to create. Hey, there we go. Oh, all right. Well, that one automatically went external on me. When you add a URL, it's going to bring it up. You can edit the link. You can set dates and restrictions, again, on everything. You can add description to everything. If you have learning objectives, you can tie those in, completion summary. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. I hope that works. Yeah, there it goes. All right, so we're good. That does work. All right. Take the bread trail back. All right, so already my read area, as you can see as I'm adding these things, they're popping up over here with the number 2, meaning I have 2 items. It tells me specifically where they're at. So right here inside of read. Let's say I wanted to add like a bunch of actual text, like maybe I have a quote from, or a chunk of text from a textbook I want to put in here. So I want to do something with that. I go ahead and click on create a file. And it's going to open up that D2L editing area. So I'm enter a title. Let's say textbook. I don't even know. That's not the right word I want. Textbook reading. Sounds great. All right, read chapters 1 to 2 in textbook. Something simple like that. If I wanted to, again, I could insert images, I could insert video, I could insert links, bold, italics, anything I can do within here. Sometimes you just want to keep it simple. That's okay. When it's all said and done, and go ahead and click on publish. This is how it'll appear to the students. We're good to go. Go back to my submodule. And there it is, checklist A, BBC News, textbooks reading. So as you can see, this all will start to kind of fill in as we go along. Any questions so far just on how to add like pre-existing items or link out to the outside or an HTML file? And we have a couple more we're going to look at as well, but we're by no means done. Awesome. Your guys' silence is either very encouraging or very not encouraging, and I don't know which way to take it, but we're going to hope for the positive. All right. So as we start to fill this out, we'll look at how to do a YouTube video here. So let's say I want them to watch a YouTube video. I go ahead and click on New. If I have a video downloaded, let's say it's a video I made myself and I'm not hosting it on YouTube, which, asterisk note, here our team tries to promote you guys as much as possible to create your own personal YouTube channel for teaching and upload your videos to YouTube. And the reason why I say that is when you upload your own video, there's a million different file extensions that can be, and then we run into the issue, and we have in the past, of different people on different computers with different browsers from different years. It can run into all sorts of issues trying to watch the video that you uploaded yourself. If you put it on YouTube, however, it becomes a lot easier because then they're watching it through YouTube, so it's cut back significantly on our headaches. I used to get a lot of emails every semester because so-and-so didn't have the right plugin to watch this video, and they were using a browser from this year, and it was a nightmare. So just we push you towards YouTube. Push you towards it. Slight nudge. If you have something against YouTube, you can use the video audio option here, and it's just like uploading a normal file. You can actually go to upload, and you would click browse. Now, if you want to pull from YouTube, totally different story. So to do that, first we're going to go to YouTube. And we're going to click on... All right, we'll go on to Elton Brown reviewing dumb things. That's always fun. So once you're in a YouTube video, in order to embed it or get the embed code, so it'll be right inside your D2L site, you scroll down here to where it says share, click on that. And then this option right here says embed. And then this whole code right here we need. So we right click, cut, go back to D2L, and then click new, video audio. And then right here it's just right click and paste. And as you can see, it pops up down here. I'm going to give this a title, so get a title. Make sure your title fits the video. It just makes life easier. And then we go ahead and click save. And boom, that's exactly how it's going to appear to the students when they click on that item. It'll be the YouTube video right here. They go ahead and click play. It's going to go ahead and play for them. They don't have to go to the YouTube site. It saves you from them seeing YouTube comments, which, as we all know, is like the underground scourge of the internet. It's just right here. They can play through it, no problems. Any questions about uploading a YouTube video? Any of that process I just went through? No? Awesome. All right, cool. All right, as always, dates, restrictions if we want. The check, again, this part we'll get back to here in a minute. And it tells you when you last used it. It gives you where you're getting it from as well. This is honestly when they added this ability, because we used to not be able to do this, I was so happy because this is so much easier. Downloads there, I don't know how well it works, to be honest, with YouTube videos. I think that usually throws up a thing. However, if it's your own personal video, the students can download that video. You can edit it, which is going to open up that scene or the area, so you can edit the code we put in, and then delete it as well if we wanted to. All right. Another way we could do this is we could go to that create a file area. So I could go watch this video here. Now, I wouldn't do it this way. I would do it the way I just showed you, but this is another possibility. Let's say you wanted to give instructions before watching the video, which we can't do the previous way. I could type in my instructions up here. And then right down here, I can go to this Insert Stuff button, which, remember, someone at D2L got paid big bucks to come up with that name. And then once I go into here, YouTube doesn't work. It broke like a year ago, and I don't know why, but it never got fixed. But if you click Enter Embed Code, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to pull that embed code off of YouTube, paste it, next, give us a preview, insert. And then this way I can actually type around it too. So I could put more things inside if I wanted to. There's all sorts of things I could do with this. Your content's awesome because we can link to everything. So technically I could have this linked to like the discussion afterwards. I could have them watch this video, then take a quiz. watch this video and then complete a Dropbox item. There's all sorts of stuff here we could do with it. All right. Click publish. Now title. And then publish. All right. So as you see, it looks almost identical to the previous way, except now there's instructions at the top. And like I said, I can put more text around it if I wanted to, which is nice. All right. It's going to show up differently too. This is a direct video embedding, the blue one, and then this is an HTML file. All right. And then delete them, same as before, delete. All right. Dates, restrictions, the whole deal. All right. Any questions with the watch area, with the videos and stuff? Or if we just wanted to put in a direct link to a URL, we would do just like we do with the BBC News. Maybe you want them to go out to a website to watch something because it doesn't have an embed code. Same concept. All right. No questions. All right, you guys are super, super awesome. I can't say that enough. All right, this do area, again, working inside of here. This is where I would, create or utilize existing things, for instance. Or if I do want to make a new discussion, I can click on new discussion, and it literally is going to open up the tabs to make a discussion area. So the discussion would be dumb kitchen gadgets. I could throw into a forum, which your topic, the discussion is inside of a forum. So this forum would be, weekly videos. Create. And then publish. What that's actually going to do for the student, it brings it right in. You can put a description here. They can click start a new thread, and boom, they're instantly responding to the discussion. And back here, this is going to look like this. They just click on that and this. So again, it tries. The nice thing about content is it keeps everything. A student, if your class is organized well in an online environment, the student can come to content and never have to go anywhere else inside the class. Content can be the only button up here in the nav bar, and they should never have to leave it because everything is in your content and they can access all this stuff by just going through. That's in a very well-designed course. Do all of our courses do that? No, but in a perfect world they would. Dreams of an instructional designer in a community college. All right, so let's say I get all this set and done, and as you see, if I click back to the main table of contents, it's going to show me everything with the breakdowns. If I click just week 1, I get a nice overview of everything. Let's say I get going through this, and I'm like, you know what? I really want that textbook reading to be back up above checklist A. I want them to do that first. No problem. The 3 lines to the left on anything, and I mean anything, even this submodule here, even the modules on the left. If you click that item and then drag, it's going to do this gray line. And that means I'm moving it. So I just move it to where I want the green line. Maybe I don't want it in this week. Maybe I want it in week 2. No problem. Once it goes orange, it means I'm going to put it inside of that unit. So this, I think, textbook reading. All right, cool. Chapter 1. As you can see, that adjust. It's gone here. Chapter 1. There's my textbook reading. So to move stuff around, maybe I want chapter 1 before week 1. No problem. Click, drag. Chapter 1's first now. Want to put PowerPoints inside week 1? For chapter 1, go ahead. It's orange. It's as simple as just dragging, dropping, and just moving the items. Gray line means it's going to move to that between those items. Orange means it's going inside of that module. That's the key thing to remember. And if I don't want PowerPoints here anymore, no problem. Just drag it back out. Gray line means moving there. Now PowerPoints is back out. And honestly, it's as simple as that for moving stuff around. Any questions with that? Awesome. All right. So again, deleting, we just would go into the individual thing we want to delete, and you just, anytime there's a down arrow, just click delete. So if it's items themselves, delete topic. If it's the modules, we have to click on the submodule or the module and click delete. The one to avoid at all costs is if you click table of contents. Table of contents has delete all modules. Do not do this, please. I had someone do this last semester. It's kind of a pain. We do have an ability, I think, to get it back. I'm like 50% sure. But please don't test it. So just be very mindful. Do not delete all modules. Delete the modules individually. All right. So once this is going through and we have everything in place, what do our students see? So let me put week 1 back up there because that's going to drive me nuts because it has more items. All right. Our students will see this. Class list, impersonate. First thing when our student loads in is, again, this content browser will show them a shortcut. As you can see, it's not as nice as the content area. It just breaks it down into folders. When they click on a folder, it just takes them into that folder. So boom, it's just constantly going in. It doesn't give a nice, it doesn't have the nice flow that the content does, which I'll show you here in a second. It's just very selective, which I don't like as much. There we go. All right. Now if they click on content and go to content, they see everything, and it breaks it down. It looks pretty. I don't know. I like this more. As you can see, though, it looks almost identical to what we were just looking at as well. At the top, it tells them automatically how many topics they've looked at. So 0 out of 6 topics completed. This is that auto tracking I was talking about, that auto completion. Every time they look at a different area, it puts a little checkbox when they do the activity, or if they scroll to the bottom of it, essentially do all the stuff inside. And then in the end, after we have a bunch of students do it, we can actually look at that data and see, oh, well, Tim, you're failing because you've only looked at 10% of the data in the class or the content, and we can actually break it down even further. And we can look at how long they spent in each item as well, which I'll show you here in a minute. So, for instance, I've had students who, instructors come to me and their students like, well, I know I'm looking at the content, and we can literally go in and be like, well, you are, but you're spending 1 minute and 10 seconds on a 10-minute long PowerPoint. So it's really cool. We can see a lot. And we'll look at here at the end how to do that. It's kind of a little bit different area. All right, so the student sees week 1. Like, all right, cool. They click the read submodule. It's going to take him in. He sees checklist A. He clicks it. Tells him what to do. He physically can click this off. When he does, completion goes from 0 to 100. If he unchecks it, so on and so forth. All right. When he's done with this item, he can go back out via the bread trail, back to read and go to the next item. Or he just clicks the arrow. Boom, it takes him to that BBC site I set up, externally pulls him out to that, closes it. Go ahead and click on the next one. It's going to be watch, takes him into the next module automatically. Click on Ellen Brown's things. Boom, here's the video. Let's say I like this video, I need to bookmark this to come back. I didn't get the whole way through it. That bookmark icon's right there. They can just click on that. They can make it full screen. Again, they just click next. So as you can see, like I said, if a course is set up well, the student literally can go into content and just hit next and just work their way through a course. If there's a quiz will pop up, and the start quiz button is right here on the page. They can click that, go into the quiz. Everything's right there for them. There's no need to go hunting, for lack of a better way to put it, throughout the nav bar trying to find what they're looking for. Right. Any questions on what the student sees so far? Man. Nice. All right. I really hope you guys just aren't being quiet to be nice. All right. So as you can see, they can go through. And then if he goes back to watch, now it's not going to show him because technically I didn't. Click. Bookmark. The completion thing sometimes can take a second or two. And the videos are weird sometimes as well. It's not 100% accurate. All right. Hopefully that'll change that. Nope, still gives me 0. Interesting. All right, Thumbs Kitchen. Once they posted, it would change. I don't know why that's still showing 0. Usually it updates. My luck. So as you can see, they can go through. They can click everything. If these are date restricted, it would show up as gray. They wouldn't be able to click on it, and it would say underneath when it opens. So it would have a date restriction of like week 3 or whatever the date is. It tells them that. Lots of transparency with the students. Nothing's really hidden, which is good. All right, bookmarks. You can see once I bookmarked that video, now in bookmarks, if I click on it, it's going to have it here, so the student can refer back to, again, places they left off or different things maybe they struggled with. They're all right up there in the bookmarks area. All right. Any questions at all with what the student sees or how they see it? All right. Close that back out. Now, the content browser area is unique to each individual student in person. So if one student goes into concepts, the other student is going to be seeing whatever they left off. I say this because I had instructors in the past who thought if they selected week 1, all their students would see week 1. It's not how it works. It is an individualized element, just like updates. Now, if I go back to content, again, it's going to look roughly the same. if I click on table of contents, related tools, view reports, why did that not update? Huh, that is very strange. In a normal class, this will update, and it'll tell you, probably because I'm impersonating, I'm not technically on my account, or I'm still on my account. This would actually tell you how many users have visited the content, the average time spent. This gives you a really good breakdown of all that data. Let me try one of my other classes real quick. Fortunately, I do not have a live class to show you. Content. Wow, that just really doesn't want to work for me today. Huh. Well, that is interesting. This is where you would come, though. It would have a breakdown, again, of users visited, the average time. If you click on users, it actually should break it down by users, I believe. So like Stu here, if I want to see how long he spent on something, I click his name. And it would tell me number of visits, the average time spent, last visited. It gives you a really good breakdown of all that data, which is kind of awesome. Again, I don't know why that's not working the way I want it to today. I guess just to spite me. So yeah, here's an example of a class where I have dates set in. So all sorts of random stuff. One thing to note too is let's say I'm working on a live class, I want to work on a module without the students see me working on it. If I go into like this week 2 module, it says draft here. That's this button over here. I can set it to published, which means the students will see it. Draft means they can't. If you ever have a week that your students can't see, check here first, because we have a lot of faculty who sometimes will accidentally select draft and then forget to change it back. It's no big deal, just a click away. All right. Does anyone have any questions about anything I've covered in content so far? Wow, silence. Gotta know. All right. Honestly, I really don't have it. I'm sorry. I'm just shocked because these sessions usually take like an hour because I have a ton of questions and you guys are just really, really awesome, which I'm not used to at all. It looks like I lost Sandra at some point. I don't know what happened there. I guess she left after the connection acted up. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Jonathan's typing. Can I get a copy of the presentation? Yes. Yes, you can. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to quit screen sharing here if we don't have any more questions. Because then it opens up my actual window, so I'm not just looking at a little box in the corner. I'm going to click recording right now. Stop.